All right, Patreon early access and YouTube. This is a brand new video. We got the high knee shield. We're going from the high knee shield. We're gonna deconstruct that for MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. And we got the low knee shield, deconstructing it for MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. Ground and pound mixed in, all that. Ronnie hosting is here. Subscribe if you haven't. So now I have my man Ronnie hosting in the low knee shield position. He's low knee shield. I gotta figure out a way to deal with this position. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna work my right hand right behind his lower lumbar. Now watch how my hips shoot through, and I got extension on his bottom leg. So my whole thing is to get some sort of disconnection between his two legs. See how his heels are mirroring each other? That's bad for me. He can create this tight wedge around my hip. So I drop my body, and I get my head nice and tight on the shoulder. From this tight position here, I web my foot through, and I walk my body, I walk my leg straight. So that Ronnie's leg is locked in a straight line from his big toe to his hip. From here, I'm gonna start to raise. I'm gonna put my hip over his. Now all I have to do is drop my knee into that slot, and I come up to a beautiful top pin position where I can start to flatten my man out. In the event that he's not the smartest guy, and this is MMA, he's probably trying to keep me close, I'm gonna grab his rotator cuff, I'm gonna flatten him out, and then from here we start to enter into pinning positions where I can threaten with ground and pound. I go to punch Ronnie in his face, Ronnie goes, "Don't hit me." I pin his knee, I pin his elbow to the mat, my forehead goes down, and from here we can do immeasurable damage from the crucifix top position. So this is all about deconstructing the low knee shield. Good job here by Ronnie, inside position. He's not giving me much, right? Underhooks, etc. But I'll just create a frame on his lower back with my elbow. I'll create a sticky, tacky palm on the mat, and then watch how I throw my hips side on. Heavy on those legs. I walk my toes behind his Achilles until I can get a straight leg. From here, it's all about getting my hips over his. Okay, even in the event that he underhooked me here and here, I'm still gonna be able to slide my knee into position, work my body into, I know a lot of you guys are digging this, the phantom leg position. This underhook is null and void. He goes to get up to his knees. Never gonna happen, never gonna happen. So it's gonna be tough for me to do that. I'm not sweating the underhook. In an ideal world, I'd like to have the underhook on the far side. If he underhooks me, we go phantom leg on the bottom leg. So he's here, low knee shield. We drop our hips into a favorable position where his legs are now condensed. I hook, and I start to walk my toes until his big toe and his hip are on a straight line. As soon as this happens, I throw my hip and I create a mirrored effect, hip to hip. I drop my body into position, I underhook, I pummel, I work my man till his shoulder blades are flat on the mat. From here, we sit through, we threaten him. He blocks because he doesn't want to get punched in the face. We slide our knee into position. We make sure that this hand is preferably around my head so that I can start doing work from the top position. That's the low knee shield. Hips dropping, we're getting our feet on the inside position, we're creating separation, and then we're going for just brutal punishment. Now, what about if he does a high knee shield on me? So Ronnie, let's say you do a high knee shield situation this time, and it's a whole different ball of wax, right? If I go here, nothing. If anything, I'm just all balancing myself to get swept. So what I'm gonna do, when he goes high knee shield, let's say he goes high knee shield, he goes cross collar control with the frame. So now he has great defense here from a jiu-jitsu perspective and from a ground and pound defensive perspective. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to create a supinated grip. I'm gonna reach right over the top and I'm gonna grab his form just like so. I'm gonna make sure that his form is attached to his knee, and as I pull his leg straight through this gap, watch how I punch or preferably elbow with my left elbow. So as I pull, I throw my left elbow down, I land a hard elbow. As we land that hard elbow, we have an option. I can either cross face him from here, or if I overcommit my weight, I can land in a position where I have what we would consider more of a Kimura style setup on the far side. Kimura style setup on the far side is always gonna bleed through to a nice connection, especially if he has gloves on, where I punch his arm through. I reach my hand over the top and I grab the meat of his fist. Now when he goes to extend his arm, it's like ironclad. He's not gonna be able to move this bad boy. From here, hard shots. Redneck elbows to the quadriceps, hard shots here. What do? We start walking until I can get his knees pointing away from me. I mount my man. In the mounted position, I underhook him. I raise my elbow up at a 90-degree angle, and we're ready to start working from our favorite position. We get to foot pummel and play our game however we like. High knee shield, last one, Ronnie.
Yeah.
High knee shield. Can't do the same sit through that we just did in the prior movement. We need to address this and move a little bit differently. So what we do is we take a supinated grip, we grab over the top, we trap. I pull, as I pull through, I make sure his wrist is attached to his knee. Not below, not above, right on his knee. As I pull, there's this nice opening. I land a hard elbow, I come over the top. From here, we lock on our Kimura. The issue with going for a Kimura is both of my arms are tied to his one arm. So there's not a lot of freedom that I have in terms of dexterity with my arms. If I want to mount him, there's an issue because my arms are tied up. So what I'll do is I'll bend his wrist, and from this position, I'll trap the meat of his hand, the hammer fist part. From here, we can open up, we can attack redneck elbows. Now from here, I'm not a big fan of framing this way. We used to do this quite a bit. It still works, but the guy sometimes can keep resetting. So if I can, I'll start to walk so that his knees are pointing away from me, just like this. This is more of a favorable position. Then I can force his knee down. I can underhook him. My forehead goes to the mat. We end up in a 3/4 position. Now what's wrong? I'm doing a quick study here. What's wrong in this position? Can you look at it and tell me what's wrong? Give me 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Ronnie was gesturing at it. My elbow is too tight to his side, to his rib. So if he's an explosive guy, he'll roll me to my right. So I need to make sure that my elbow is always flaring roughly 90 degrees. So now when he goes to bind up my body, it's very, very difficult. And again, we can now pass, however we want to pass. There's a million and one ways. This is just one option. We can hook. I can free up my feet. I can pass to the mount, or I can pass to the opposite side of my underhook. All really, really reliable. I'm gonna run through it fast for you. Low knee shield. Walk in. He blocks me. He pays the ultimate price. High knee shield. Good frames. Supinated grip. Lock. I pull through. Hard elbow. Bend it. As we said, make them pay a little bit. Then we start walking. See the elbow flare? Then I hook. Then I pass. Then I go back to the mount. The choice is yours. All right, that was a lot for you.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Subscribe. Check out my Patreon link in the description. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is going to be great for landing effective ground and pound. You're going to want to try this out. Try one of these videos up here too. We have plenty of options. Old school videos, but they're very effective. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll be back this week with some more videos. Thank you guys.